High in the Ethiopian highlands, wind moves across open fields scattered with stone. Some lie broken, others stand. One, still upright, rises 21 meters, King Ezana's stele, its surface carved into false doors and rows of windows that catch the light like a building no one will ever enter. Nearby, the great stele lies in pieces. When whole, it measured 33 meters and weighed more than 500 tons, quarried from granite 2.5 miles away and dragged here in the 3rd or 4th century. Hundreds of smaller markers surround them, each cut from a single block. These are not temples, they are grave markers. Archaeologists have traced their underground chambers to the tombs of kings and nobles. The largest belong to the elite, the rest shrink in size and detail according to rank. After the middle of the 4th century, the practice ends. No new monoliths rise. The stones remain anyway, silent in the grass, taller than anything else on the plateau for centuries. They mark the place where a kingdom once decided what mattered enough to carve from living rock and set upright for the dead. 60 miles east, at the ancient port of Adulis on the Red Sea, the ground still yields fragments of another world. 6th century basilica foundations, marble from the Pyrenees, alabaster, Syrian amphoras, an Indian statuette, Chinese ceramics. A 1st century Greek merchant's handbook, the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, already knew the name. Adulis was the place where ivory, elephant and rhino, tortoiseshell and gold left Africa for the Mediterranean and India. The capital itself lay inland, safer from raiders, controlling the flow from the highlands down to the coast. Excavations at Beta Samati, a hilltop town 30 miles northeast of Aksum, have pulled up the same pattern in miniature. Jordanian oil jars, Mediterranean glass beads, North African pottery. Local workshops turned out their own metal and glass, but the imports arrived in steady ships. The kingdom did not sit at the edge of trade, it sat at its hinge. Merchants spoke Greek alongside Ge'ez. Caravans moved north, bypassing the Nile, carrying African goods straight to Roman markets. The highlands supplied the raw wealth, the coast moved it. And the kings who ruled from Aksum decided who could load what and when. Around the year 270, under a king named Endebis, the minting began. Gold, silver, and bronze, the first sub-Saharan coinage in regular production. Later kings refined the system. Ezana's coins show his face on one side, a cross on the other. These small discs traveled. Examples have turned up in southern India and along the Levantine coast. They were not souvenirs, they were payment. A practical answer to the problem of weighing ivory tusks or gold dust every time a deal closed. The decision to mint them reveals something quieter than power, a system that needed trust across distances. A merchant in Adulis could hand over a gold piece stamped with the king's image and know it would be accepted in Alexandria or Muziris. The same piece carried the ruler's name in Greek and Ge'ez, a quiet declaration that this kingdom spoke the languages of its customers. In the middle of the 4th century, the symbols changed. On coins, the crescent and disk of older gods gave way to the cross. Ezana's inscriptions, carved in Greek, Ge'ez, and Sabaean on a tall stele, record the shift. He thanks the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit for victories once credited to Marem or Astar. A Syrian Christian named Frumentius had arrived years earlier, captured at sea, then tutor to the young king. By the 340s, he had become bishop. Ezana made the new faith the kingdom's own. At Beta Samati, archaeologists found a basilica built in that same century. Radiocarbon dates on wheat and barley seeds place its walls in the 300s, among the earliest known churches south of the Sahara. A stone block above the entrance carries a Ge'ez prayer. To this entrance,
Christ be favorable to us. A small pendant nearby shows a cross and the word venerable. The adoption was not sudden theater. It moved through traders, through court tutors, through the slow alignment of a kingdom that already faced Rome and Byzantium across the water. A faith that traveled the same routes as the ivory and the gold now traveled with official favor. The stele stopped rising. The crosses began appearing on coins that still bought silk and spices. The trade that had fed the kingdom began to thin. Persian ships, then Muslim fleets, tightened their hold on the Red Sea. By the early 6th century, the mints fell silent. Coin production ended. Soil studies on the plateau tell the rest. From the mid-7th century onward, erosion accelerated. Terraces crumbled. Rain became less reliable. The same fields that once supported 2 crops a year now struggled. Bejag nomads pressed in from the north and west, cutting the last reliable paths to the coast. The capital moved inland to Kubar in the 9th century. Aksum shrank. By the year 800, the great city was largely abandoned. The stones stayed where they had been set, now guardians of empty tombs. In the highlands, the stones remain, carved, fallen, upright, still taller than the grass that grows around them. They do not explain why the world that raised them slipped away. They simply mark where it once stood.